Hello, you're watching DD India and I'm Preeti presenting this edition of Self-Reliant India, a show wherein we discuss and we elaborate on one aspect which helps in achieving self-reliance for the country. And today we'll be talking and we'll be evaluating the Jal Jeevan Mission and its progress so far. We know that adequate and safe water is important for human health and well-being, economic production and sustainable development. Failure to ensure the safety of drinking water may expose the community to the risk of outbreaks of waterborne and infectious diseases. Although drinking water is a basic human right, many people do not have access to safe and adequate drinking water or proper sanitation facilities. With an aim to provide safe drinking water to all by 2024, the government announced the Jal Jeevan Mission on 15th of August 2019. And today we will be talking more about it and where is it presently standing and what is the road ahead. When we talk of further implementation of Jal Jeevan Mission, we are joined in by guests. We are joined in by Mr. Muralidharan, he's Deputy Advisor, Jal Jeevan Mission, Ministry of Jal Shakti. We are joined in by Mr. Manish Vasuja, he's WASH Specialist, UNICEF India. And we are joined in by Dr. R. Vimla, Director, Water and Sanitation Department, and that is from Maharashtra. We welcome all of you in the show. To begin with, Mr. Muralidharan, I would want you to talk first and apprise our viewers where is the Jal Jeevan Mission and its implementation post or standing right now. We've told our viewers that the government aims to provide water for all by 2024 and 4 crore households across the country have been now given tapped water, piped water. Give us the more statistical details and let us know where is the mission standing right now.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for this opportunity. As you have already told, the Honorable Prime Minister launched the program on 15th of August 2019. At that point in time, we had 3.23 crore households out of 19.19 households had water and tap water connections, which roughly works out to 17%. Today, after around, say, almost 18-19 months' time, we have achieved almost 7.24 crore households have been provided with drinking water connection, tap connection, which means it is 37%, 37.78 to be very precise. And in this year alone, we have given 4 crore tap connections despite the pandemic affecting the country. And as of today, we have two states, Telangana and then Goa, and one union territory, Andaman Nicobar Islands, have already achieved 100% tap connections to all the rural households. This actually includes 50, and apart from that, we've got 56 districts, 693 blocks, 43,977 panchayats, and almost 86,000 villages, 85,846 to be precise, have got 100% tap water connections in the country. And this is a phenomenal achievement, which I would say that it's from leapfrogging, we have been pole vaulted to this particular number. And the basic objective of the mission, as we all know, is to provide ease of living in the rural areas. And the program's objective is basically to provide service delivery, and infrastructure creation is only a part of it. The main focus is on service delivery and not on infrastructure, though it provides definitely a part for providing the service. And one of the most important things is that we are also developing a lot of skills for the people to take this program forward in rural areas. As you know, many people have come back from urban areas to rural areas. And this mission also is playing a very big role in imparting them skills in the form of making them plumbers, electricians, masons, who are actually being very useful for providing this tap water connection to every household. And in terms of, and this mission right now also focuses on schools and Anganwadis. And this is also another very major focus area where we have achieved almost 5.75 lakh schools have been provided with tap water connections. And apart from this, as I was telling you, the investments in this program has been very, it's going up very gradually. And this year it has leapfrogged. In fact, 50,000 crores have been allocated for this program. It's a huge jump. And we are sure that this money would bring in a lot of rural employment generation, apart from the other rural employment generation programs of the Government of India. So this is only the money that central government puts. Remember, there is a 50% money that is also coming from the state governments. So put together, it will be almost 1 lakh crores that would be invested in the next financial year for this mission. So as of today, from 17%, we have progressed to 37%, and we have almost covered 7.24 crore households of which 4 crore households have come from this year alone. So this is where the mission stands now.
All right. All right. Sir, please, you want to continue?
So I think I have just spoken what I have to say. What you mean? So I have already, as I have already told you, as I was telling you, that this mission focuses not on infrastructure but on service delivery. And apart from this particular aspect of this thing, we are also having what is called as source sustainability, because in many places in India, as the summer approaches, the sustainability of sources become a big problem.
Yes.
The water levels goes down. As on today, as per the assessment by the Central Groundwater Board, we stand somewhere around 62% of groundwater stands exploited for various developmental purposes. And this actually has been going down since 2004. A series of surveys have been done by the Groundwater Board, and starting from 2004 to till today, our actual groundwater, draft for irrigation and water is continuously going up. In fact, we draw more water than US and China combined. Both of them draw around 115 billion cubic meters, whereas we draw today, as on today, 249 billion cubic meters. And only a minuscule part of this, hardly 8% of this goes for drinking water. The rest of the 70-18% goes for agricultural purposes. So we are focusing on water conservation also as part of this. And there is a specific provision in the mission that ensures that your water that is supplied to ground has got source sustainability measure in the form of a borewell recharge structure. This is only one aspect of this. The government has now launched what is called Jal Shakti Abhiyan 2, catch the water, rain where it falls. Earlier, the first Jal Shakti Abhiyan we carried out, and we had a huge success in which almost 2.64 crore people participated. A large number of works have happened on different areas, watershed, groundwater recharge, then restoration and restoration of ponds. It happened in both rural and urban areas. So similar thing will now happen in 2021, this monsoon season, where the Honorable PM has already launched this particular program on March 22nd on World Water Day, wherein we will be taking up this huge mammoth work, and where the states and center will be working together to achieve the sustainability of the sources. The program focuses very much on sustainability of sources, which is actually the backbone for ensuring the water supply of 55 liters per person per day, which we want to give to the every individual household and unto the person.
All right, we'll take that further, but at present I'll bring in Mr. Manish Vasuja. He is WASH Specialist, UNICEF India. Sir, in your opening comments, I would want you to appraise and rather apprise our viewers with what work does WASH do. Now, when we talk of WASH, WASH currently stands for washing and sanitation and hygiene, which means that all three of them are equally important as is potable water or drinkable water important for a human being. So, first of all, I would want you to apprise our viewers with what work is being entrusted with WASH as part of UNICEF.
Yeah. So, UNICEF is supporting Government of India, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Department of Drinking Water Sanitation in implementation of Jal Jeevan Mission and also Swachh Bharat Mission, particularly for water supply to every household and functional toilets in every household. So the main focus of UNICEF support is to support government in increasing the behavior change component, make the program, demystify the program from an engineering perspective to a community mobilization perspective, so that community understand what is the importance of having water and both sanitation facilities at household level. So I can give you some more information on that, like the water and the quality drinking water is a powerful determinant of the health of a community. Consumption of contaminated water has adverse impact on people. So under Jal Jeevan Mission, government is focusing on provision of safe drinking water, and UNICEF is a partner in that, where we are working in states to empower communities to develop their village action plans. Community themselves develop their village action plan. They prioritize the need for having water supply at their household levels. And during COVID pandemic, when we are talking about limited mobility to prevent the risk, household level tap connection is a very important component to reduce the risk of COVID pandemic. An estimated 80% of diseases are caused by the consumption of contaminated water, and on an average around 1/10 of person's productive time is sacrificed to water related disease. So by provision of this household connection, tap water connection, we will be able to reduce this drudgery and also the time consumed to fill that water and use it for other productive uses and quality uses by family. And for this, UNICEF being a child-centered organization, children are particularly at risk and they are more susceptible to waterborne diseases. Literature has shown that repeated episodes of diarrhea results in decreased learning hours, reduced cognitive abilities, and ultimately not reaching their full potential. So with the 100 Days campaign which government has launched and UNICEF is supporting, we believe that children will have more time, quality time for learning and for playing, and their cognitive abilities will be further enhanced. As Mr. Muralidharan has said, that government is focusing on both groundwater and surface water to have judicious use of water supply. But we also believe that there is a need for behavior change among communities to prevent wastage of water. When everybody will have water at their household level, we need to prevent wastage of water. We need to enhance the knowledge of community so that they minimize wastage of water and they use it very judiciously, because it's a very scarce resource and a finite resource, and everybody has to kind of understand this component.
All right, from here we'll bring in Dr. R. Vilmala. She's Director, Water and Sanitation Department of Maharashtra. We welcome you, ma'am, to the show. When we talk of the Jal Jeevan Mission, you are Director, Water and Sanitation Department of Maharashtra. Now, the urban areas and the rural areas have different water crises. To begin with, I would want you to talk of implementation in, urban areas. Now, Maharashtra is one state which almost every year has to face floods, massive floods, I would say. So, optimal use of groundwater is also a very important aspect of, efficient management of water. So, what is your take on that when we talk of water crisis being different in both rural and urban areas?
Regarding urban and rural differences, like in urban areas, water is supplied through the big chain of dams which are there across, especially Mumbai gets water from about 3 to 4 dams which are nearby to Mumbai.
Yes.
Regarding the water crisis which happens during the monsoons, that is a very different kind of crisis which happens because all the water which comes drains away because of the topography which is there. So that is being handled separately to look at. But in the rural areas, when we look at water supply, it is not based on these kind of huge infrastructure which is there. There are individual schemes which are there, multiple schemes like the multi-water schemes are there, single village schemes are there. And Maharashtra has programs like the National Rural Drinking Water Supply Program, which was there in our DWP, or we have our own Chief Minister's Water Drinking Water Program, which was the Mukhyamantri Peyajal Yojana. And so there is a history and a background of tap water being given to people, at least through the stand post, if not directly the home. But with Jal Jeevan Mission came the greatest difference, because the government of India envisaged having tap waters in the houses of the people. So that made the biggest difference, because even though infrastructure may be there as it was earlier, as rightly Muralidharan sir also said, that it was not, it was like a demand-driven program was not, it was basically supply-driven infrastructure was emphasized on. But the change came with Jal Jeevan Mission, that you have to provide tap water to the people's homes so that women are reduced from the drudgery. The idea of involving the 50% of the population which was bearing the brunt of managing water resources, taking care of ensuring regular supply at home, that difference came, a humanizing effect came with Jal Jeevan Mission. So when you urban and Maharashtra and rural Maharashtra in that way, very different, because Mumbai, of course, most of the population is also in slums.
Yes.
So that is a totally different issue. But in rural Maharashtra, we find that people are normally living in their own houses, in their own homes, and reaching them with the taps has been a bigger challenge for us, and we are achieving it through the Jal Jeevan Mission.
All right, we are achieving it through the Jal Jeevan Mission, and we also had Mr. Muralidharan talk of how successfully the mission has been implemented in 4 crore rural households, and these households have been provided with piped water connections. We'll continue this discussion, but at present we will be heading for a short commercial break. And in a while from now, when we return back, we will discuss more aspects related to the Jal Jeevan Mission. Stay with us. You're watching Self-Reliant India on DD India.
The changing world of news. Headlines that you wake up to. News that shapes your day. Stories that matter to you. The latest and most accurate updates. A fresh start to a new day. The Breakfast News, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. on DD India. Your window to rising India. India's voice on global platforms. Latest news from India and around the world. In-depth analysis of global headlines. Watch DD India in your country. Available for downlink in Middle East countries. STTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 17 at 93.5 degrees east. HDTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 10 at 83 degrees east. For technical details, scan here. Switch to DD India now.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching Self-Reliant India on DD India, and we're today discussing Jal Jeevan Mission and how far is it changing lives in the country. To talk about it, we're joined in by guests. We're joined in by Mr. Muralidharan. He's Deputy Advisor, Jal Jeevan Mission, Ministry of Jal Shakti. We're joined in by Mr. Manish Vasuja. He's WASH Specialist, UNICEF, and Dr. R. Vilmla, Director, Water and Sanitation, Department of Maharashtra. Mr. Muralidharan, earlier you talked of how the water drawn by our country is more than the combined water drawn by US and China together. Yes. 70 to 80% of this water is used for agricultural practices. Now, also a very important aspect of optimal usage of water would be putting groundwater to optimal use. Now, given how we were just talking with Ms. Vimla also about how there are different challenges when we talk of urban areas and we talk of rural areas, installing piped water connection, would end up being just a cosmetic step if optimal use of groundwater, available groundwater, is not done.
Okay, so I think you are right in a sense, but I would like to tell you here an important thing. See, basically, this mission advocates different types of solutions for different areas. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution. So, as per a study undertaken by the Central Groundwater Board in 2017 and 2018, we had identified different blocks that have both water quality as well as quantity. Now, we have around 52% of blocks where we have both this water quality as well as quantity. So, in these blocks, there is no issue of groundwater going down in the level, and we can provide the water supply to the people through a single village scheme or a simpler schemes where you simply do a boring and then supply water, creating some infrastructure required for this. Now, there are other areas like, in Maharashtra, there are a large number of drought-prone areas, where we would require, bringing water from outside that particular area, especially in very drought-prone areas. Remember, India has got around 30% of our country is almost drought-prone, and it is necessary for us to do rainwater harvesting as well as to bring water from outside, where the water rainfall is very, very less. In fact, I can tell you one very simple. Last year, when IMD gave a report, 50% of our rainfall falls only on 40 days, and that too within 15 hours time. So there is very much requirement for us to store the water and increase the groundwater recharge also. To answer your question on this groundwater, not drawing more groundwater, there is an externality on this drinking water supply from agriculture, which we need to understand. So there is a necessary for us to adopt water efficient agricultural practices like use of micro irrigation and then increasing the water use efficiency of the farm water delivery. These are the things that we need to undertake in the agriculture so that the water drawals can come down. In fact, under the Jal Shakti Abhiyan, we almost had almost 15,000 farmers melas in which all the farmers were called, made to be aware of this aspect of this. And we need to also adopt, cropping patterns that actually suit the water availability. You can't have a water guzzling crop in a drought prone area or a desert area and then draw the water from ground just because you can afford a 50 horsepower motor. So these are the things we need to drive home the point. And that's why this mission actually gives the power in the hand of the community. So here we prepare what is called as village action plans. The communities are asked to sit down, right? And then we have specialist agencies called as implementation support agencies who are, trained by us to help these communities take informed decisions about the availability of groundwater. Our sister department, the Department of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation, they are carrying out what is called as an Aquifer Mapping program, in which, we are trying to map the entire aquifer of the country to understand the aquifer properties, which actually let you know how much water is actually available. So once you are able to give an informed decision-making power to the community through this sort of information, through this aquifer mapping programs that lets you know how much water is available for drinking, and you also educate the people through IEC campaign and tell them that you have to adopt water use efficiency in agriculture, then the problem of water levels going down, depleting will come down to a large extent. Surprisingly, I can tell you, ma'am, that in the last assessment of the groundwater board, the total drawal was 253 BCM as per the 2013 report of the Central Groundwater Board. Now, this year in 2017, this has come down to 249. And this really reflects the work that has actually happened on the ground. A lot of micro irrigation works is taking place under the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Then we have the moisture content of the soil is getting increased in the IWMP. Then we have Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana that focuses on completion of these major and medium irrigation projects. So a plethora of works is happening from different directions. And the solutions for water has to come from different directions. And one of this is, enabling the community to have an informed decision making. And to that, we would be ensuring that water is available. Apart from that, also, I would like to tell you that, we are adopting the latest technology for monitoring actually the water supply. In fact, with one of the very prominent, Tata Trust, we have taken up IoT program, Internet of Things program, wherein we install sensors and GSM based mobile network connections. And through sensors, we come to know actually how much water is being delivered to the ground, to the people. So we also do that level of monitoring at the ground level. Apart from that, we have also constituted on committee under the chairmanship of the principal scientific advisor to the Government of India, which actually seeks different technological solutions for different problems. And we have already shortlisted 5 technologies and we have communicated to the states for using them. So through technology, through informed decision making, by making the community aware, providing them with information. So we are trying to address this issue of groundwater depletion and ensuring that the water is available to the people 24/7 on all 365 days.
All right, Mr. Vasuja, when we talk of conservation of water, when we talk of making water available, drinkable water available to the population, when this mission was launched to this day, to what extent has implementation been changed and it has been modernized? It has been do you witness any paradigm shift in the way the mission was introduced to this day, when successfully it has ended up providing piped water connections to 4 crore households, more than 4 crore households?
Yeah. So Jal Jeevan Mission has brought a paradigm shift in rural water supply program of Government of India. Earlier, also we had previous programs like National Rural Drinking Water Program. Apart from that, there were sector reform programs. But so far, all the programs were talking about water provision to communities. This is the only program, Jal Jeevan Mission, which is talking about service improvement. We are not talking about the department is changing its role from provider to facilitator, and communities are at the center of this program. They are being empowered to plan to implement and to manage their water supply program in their villages. So this is the shift when we are talking about what is the shift. And if you see the numbers, since independence and till the launch of this program, we were having around 3 crore pipe water household connections, and now we have got 4 crore additional. Around 7.25 crore households have got pipe water connection at their household level. So the numbers which were achieved in the period from post-independence to launch of JJM has achieved in past 18 to 19 months. So this is the quantum of work which has happened with a changed strategy of service improvement. Now, department is not talking about just infrastructure creation. Ministry is also talking about service improvement. All the engineers are being trained on change management, where they have to talk to community to empower them. And just to give you an example, water safety is an important component for any rural drinking water supply program. Now, communities in each village, departments are providing, the state governments are providing field test kits for water quality testing. They are training 5 members of village water and sanitation committee or Pani Samitis in these villages. These community members will actually test their own water sources and get to know what is the quality of my water. So that is the change. Earlier, we had to go to someone to get it tested. Now we can do it ourselves in the villages. And the confirmation can of course happen at the laboratory level. We have around more than 2,000 water quality monitoring laboratories across the country in different states where we can get it confirmed. So the shift has been from service provision to service improvement. Another important milestone I would say, which I would like to mention here, that 15th Finance Commission funds have also been earmarked, and these are funds which are available at Gram Panchayat level. And the amount of funding which is available for maintenance of water supply, 50% of the 15th Finance Commission funds are tied for water and sanitation. So we have got around, if I talk about national level, around 26,000 crore funding available for water and sanitation. So these can be used for normal operation and maintenance. Apart from that, in JJM, communities are empowered to contribute their own funding. So infrastructure creation is definitely is a very important component. But here, how communities can manage their own water supply is the change which we are looking at in JJM.
All right, I'll pick that point further in the show, but at present, Mr. Muralidharan, when we talk of, effective implementation of the mission, what role do the states play in, taking forward the mission? Because extensive planning exercise is also undertaken by the states and union territories following a bottoms-up approach. Talk more about it and also talk about the participation of the states as well in the mission.
Okay. See, as you know, as per the constitution, the states are the one who are actually empowered for water supply, sanitation, irrigation, etc. So they are the actual implementing people, and we basically provide them a financial, technical support, as well as the other, supports required for sourcing the funds from other external agencies also. So as far as the role of the state is concerned, starting from the beginning, like preparing the village action plan, to preparing the district action plan, to preparing the state action plan, they play a very major role. In fact, they have to identify what sort of a scheme is to be taken up in which area. Because within a state, we have a huge variation in terms of availability of water. So it is very important that we need to identify the type of schemes that we states have to take up. So this would essentially form part of the district action plan as well as the state action plans, which we normally approve in the central level. Now, once having approved these plans, then it becomes an issue of getting it implemented on ground. So it is the states who actually do this job of calling for tenders, getting the works executed on them, awarding the contracts, ensuring that this, works are done as per the specifications, designs are prepared, etc. In fact, from the Jal Jeevan Mission, National Jal Jeevan Mission, we have a large number of technical teams that visit the states to handhold them and to help them, and in fact to assist them in the process of preparing these plans. Sometimes even going through those plans and suggesting some improved ways of getting it implemented, and sorting out some of the issues. For example, where you got multiple agencies come into operation when you undertake these sort of work. Suppose if a pipeline has to cross, let's say, a railway crossing or a national highway crossing, so there is a requirement of permission from different agencies. So we also come in here and help the states to take those things also. Apart from this, the states also are also involved in the quality monitoring of this, and they are also involved, in taking up involvement of this community. More major action is taken by the states in the form by taking the help of the implementation support agencies, and we have made provisions for funding these agencies through this mission. In fact, in the district water and supply and district water and sanitation committees, which are chaired by the collectors of the district or district deputy commissioners or whomsoever you call, there we have given a project management unit for each district that has different people. One is a finance person, one is a monitoring person, one is an engineer, one is one who does this sort of a IEC campaign and capacity building. So this sort of groups have been created, and in fact we have involved more sector partners to assist the states. And apart from this, going one step further, what we are now going to do is we are going to have key resource centers selected, empaneled by the National Jal Jeevan Mission for different levels of training the officers and training the state government officials and stakeholders who are involved. There are 3 different levels in which we are planning to, have these centers, and these will be spread across the geography of the country, and they would be involved in training different level of people, starting from, top level bureaucrats or the engineers who are involved there,
right,
then middle level people who work on the field, as well as people in the village level work. So to sum and substance of this is that it is the states who actually drive the program and we fuel them, and in fact they have a major role in completing this mission, and they are our equal partners, and in fact I would rather say they are larger partners, and in fact it is their success, it is the success of the country. As you know, India is a union of states, and it is their performance which is actually we claim as our success, and in fact the success of everybody in the country.
All right, Ms. Vimla, Mr. Muralidharan is putting the onus on the states when we talk of the successful implementation. You will take that forward. Let us know what sort of challenges do the states face, and specifically talking of the success story of implementation of Jal Jeevan Mission in Maharashtra. How has been the journey so far?
So the bottom-up approach which is there, I think this is a very fantastic thing that we begin planning with the village. And why the program is successful, I think in Maharashtra also it's picked up very well, is because we involve the people in this. So right from the village level planning, which begins with the before the beginning of the year. So right now for this year's planning 21-22, we have already asked the districts to submit their plan. And so with the support of the Zilla Parishad, which is the chief executive officer, and the collectors who are there, they make the plan, they decide what is necessary for the village. And because of the community, which is the Village Water and Sanitation Committee in Maharashtra, because we have a very strong Zilla Parishad culture which exists in our state, these committees are extremely effective and very prompt in taking action, and they have decided the number of taps they want. And so because of that, they communicated to us what are the number of which they need, what are the type of multi-village schemes they need, or a single village scheme which they would be requiring. And that decision which they had taken, they communicated to us. And from the leadership level also, whether right from the chief minister of our state, he personally has taken meetings of all the CEOs, Zilla Parishad, so that they understand that right from the top level attention is being given to this program. Because having a tap, very rightfully, as our CM had said once, that having a tap and then not having water in that might be perhaps a bigger, issue for us. So we have to be constantly on our toes. And then our minister decided that we will have the guardian minister. So it is not that only the people, the political representatives should be also responsible for this. So whichever scheme is approved in our state, that is approved by the guardian minister of the district. So the district has the district authorities, the district has the guardian minister, who have also the local MLAs are there part of this, and the people themselves have made this program. So I think that makes it very successful in Maharashtra, that people-centric program has become very effective, and we are using different kinds of methods of IEC to communicate with them, to let them know that this program is there for them to get water right up to the village. And I'm really happy to share that since the program began, like last year, when in 2019, when the mission was announced, we had about 48 lakh connections, and today we have, in March 2021, almost 90 lakh connections are there. So we have reached more than 63% of the connections which have to be reached. And so the coming year, which are there, actually this mission has to be completed by 2024.
Yes.
And I hope that with our intense planning, we will probably try to complete it by before 6 months, is what our chief minister and the minister in charge of the Department of Water Drinking says, and also the additional chief secretary. We are planning like that. But what I feel is very crucial for this, and why people are very happy, this is also for the water quality, which was mentioned earlier. So we have more than 183 water testing labs in our state, one at the state level, and then almost 141 labs for people to get not only water in their taps, to ensure that they're getting quality water in their taps is very important. And we have made this very easy by just paying 5 rupees. Any person can get their water tested in their village. So that is one of the things, which is very important in this, that quality is what Government of India emphasizes on and is really following up on. So that is what we are really taking up to the next level. And in future, I think we'll have the IoT sensor-based technology also, which we are planning to have 15 districts, so that people will know how much water they use. Water leakage, water wastage is one of the other things, which is one of the very big crucial elements which is there. And people should be aware of paying for their water charges also. So these are the 3 things which we are working on. And I feel that because of this overall involvement of people at all levels, whether at the village, whether at the district, and our own local representatives, right up to the chief minister of our state, I think that is making a difference. And the commitment of the government officials also, the engineers who are there, and the CEOs, Zilla Parishad, that feeling that this drive has to reach home. So whether it was Anganwadi or schools where there were no taps, so we took it on ourselves that these taps should reach the school children also. So overall, it has been a community-driven program and a team-driven effort. So all of us ensure that we work together, and each one of us is supporting each other. And Government of India, of course, is supporting us with the funds and with all the technology we need. So it's been a really great journey for Maharashtra to take this forward.
All right, it's a multi-pronged approach there. We're discussing the implementation of Jal Jeevan Mission. Where is the mission standing and what is the road ahead? You're watching Self-Reliant India. Up next, we're heading for a short break. Stay with us.
The changing world of news. Headlines that you wake up to. News that shapes your day. Stories that matter to you. The latest and most accurate updates. A fresh start to a new day. The Breakfast News, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. on DD India. Your window to rising India. India's voice on global platforms. Latest news from India and around the world. In-depth analysis of global headlines. Watch DD India in your country. Available for downlink in Middle East countries. STTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 17 at 93.5 degrees east. HDTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 10 at 83 degrees east. For technical details, scan here. Switch to DD India now.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching Self-Reliant India, and in the show today we're discussing Jal Jeevan Mission. Mr. Masuja, we're talking of community partnership and how there is a need to make the community aware of making optimal use of the available water resources. How is that to be done? Apart from educating, common masses, how can Gram Panchayats be roped in? How can community as a whole be made aware of, how this mission has to be taken forward?
Yeah, thank you for asking this very important question, because this is the crux of Jal Jeevan Mission. So at the grassroots level, actually Gram Panchayat and its subcommittees, which is called Village Water and Sanitation Committee or Pani Samiti in some states, shoulder the responsibility for planning, implementation, management, operation maintenance of in-village water supply system. The Village Water and Sanitation Committee is made up of 12 to 15 members of the village, with minimum 50% women as members and proportionate representative of weaker sections of the society. This is very important, because if we have 50% women as members, then these are the people who are actually facing the issues of water, and how we can kind of empower them to take role of manager of their water supply in village level, addresses all the issues which are around water. So the soul of the program is community participation, and if I can say, it is particularly women participation, commencing from planning of the water supply scheme to regular operation maintenance. And how it is done is that every village is taken up as a unit, and Pani Samitis are to prepare village action plans, as Mr. Muralidharan has already spoken about. This village action plan covers the elements of source strengthening, water supply, grey water management, that is the extra water which gets out of water, how that can be managed so that it doesn't contaminate the underground water or the water sources, and its reuse, and particularly operation and maintenance of water supply, so that every household in the village gets water supply on regular and long-term basis. So this village action plan is the crux, and village action plan is a very dynamic exercise that marks all the resources in the village and empowers the community to prepare their own water secure plans, because water is finite. People know that, okay, my water is depleting, so I have to judiciously use this water, and they do it through water budgeting exercise. In village action plan, water budgeting is key. They calculate how much water is available and how they can use, how much they can use. Government has set up a milestone of service delivery benchmark of 55 LPCD, 55 liter per capita per day. But people are more conscious. When I go on, my colleagues in UNICEF, they go to field visits, they see that people are managing their water sources so well, with effective community participation, effective women participation, women taking transformative role, and they are doing more judiciously. They are not allowing any water to get wasted. And these village action plans are for the entire JJ, and they use 15 finance commission funds for operation maintenance in these village action plans. So they talk about the community themselves, they talk about more of sustainability, how they can ensure that water is available throughout the life. So that is very important. Once we have that community sensitization and involvement, then the role of government becomes very easy, the role of sector partners and implementers become very easy, because then people themselves are managing. We are just providing technical support. Government's role is just to provide technical support, and they manage their own water supply. So like they understand that, okay, for water to get secured, I have to harvest rainwater. So that kind of understanding, ensuring that water quality monitoring and surveillance is happening, people are taking care of bacteriological contamination, they are not allowing any risk from wastewater or mixing of grey and black water into drinking water. That allows them to have safe water supply throughout. So that is very important.
All right, we're talking of community, awareness, and we're talking of community contribution in, helping save and helping for the harness the rainwater and water in general as well. Mr. Muralidharan, what is the scope of a private-public partnership module in the implementation of Jal Jeevan Mission?
It's a wonderful question you have asked. In fact, the guidelines do make a provision for these public-private partnerships, and this is ideally suited for large and bigger schemes which are actually used as a regional grid water supply schemes we call, where the private sector partner can come and invest and create the infrastructure and finance it and operate it. So we already have a successful model of this hybrid annuity model under the National Mission on Clean Ganga, and this model actually Jal Jeevan Mission is also actually adopting for this in public-private partnerships. And apart from that, we have to understand that this particular model would be driven by the states basically, because at the end of the day, a sort of a share of certain percentage of funds come from the center, certain percentage of funds come from the state, and the private partner would also invest, and then the program would be implemented on ground. Apart from this, on the operational maintenance side of it, we are now emphasizing for an entrepreneurial model for the operation and maintenance, wherein again, educated youth can join. A cluster of villages can be taken up for operation and maintenance by, trained youths who can take up the model and, be as a sort of a technical support provider for the Gram Panchayats who are actually not having, a lot of technical support for them. So this is also envisaged under the guidelines that which would encourage an entrepreneurial model so that the operation and maintenance part, post-implementation part of it is taken care. And there also we envisage a public-private partnership models. Apart from this, in the water quality, for example, Manish spoke a lot about water quality. We have recently released the guidelines for the water quality management information systems, where every test carried out on water quality, like a COVID test, it will come to the central database, and we will know live in real time what is the actual water quality. Now, what we are trying to do here, we are trying to involve those interested people who want to get themselves involved in the testing of water quality. We are trying to rope in higher secondary schools and some colleges that have the facilities for water quality monitoring, and they would be funded under the mission so that the labs, the lesser the number, the labs, the function of water quality labs can be done by this organization, and this is also one of the opportunities that we have. Apart from this, this thing also, we have also launched, hackathons and other this thing for preparation of the, for manufacturing of this portable water quality manufacturing device and other things. So these are some of the areas where, and we are also in fact infecting a lot of technology partners. We have a technology innovation link in our website where there are many countries now shown a lot of interest, in giving the technologies to us. So if they come to India, they can invest the technology, and then those technologies power can be harnessed for the monitoring of this mission. In fact, one of the companies from Dutch has already, done a pilot project in Gujarat for the, Internet of Things based monitoring system in 2 villages, and it proved to be a very successful one. And in fact, to our great surprise, we found that we don't have to spend so much of money what we are actually earlier envisaged. With lesser money, we are now going to do a better monitoring. So that sort of an opportunity also exists. In fact, you will be surprised, this is one of the largest funded programs. If you take the combined program cost of these three programs which have now been announced to the government. One is the Jal Jeevan Mission, which is 3.6 lakh crore, which roughly translates to almost $49.65 billion if you use a 72.5 rupees, conversion rate. And again, this Urban Mission, 2.87 lakh crore, that works out roughly around $39 billion. And the Swachh Bharat Mission, which is 118 lakh crore, which again comes out around roughly 19 million. So put together all these things, we have around 109 billion crore money is to be invested in this particular program over a period of next 5 years. It's a huge money. And we also, in fact, are seeking partners for implementing this, both from technology, from the investment perspective. In fact, some of the states, coastal states, are now going for desalination plant. One of the states, Tamil Nadu, has now gone for 60 MLD desalination plant through a public-private partnership model, and they are now going to release the tenders for that. So the public-private partnership already started happening. We would make it happen not only for bigger schemes, but also post-operation maintenance, so that our youths can get trained, get jobs, and the schemes are sustained through a successful O&M partnership, so that communities are provided technical support, and these schemes run for next 30 years down the line. We don't want this scheme to last for less than the design periods. Every scheme has got a design period, so we want to ensure that every scheme runs for the full design period by involving community, by entrepreneurship models, so that both the opportunities for jobs as well as successful implementation of the mission can be done through this sort of arrangement.
All right, Ms. Vimla, I would want your comments. We are coming towards the fag end of the program. Very quickly, we'll need comments from all three of you. To begin with it, Ms. Vimla, your closing comments on the show when we talk of the journey ahead, the road ahead for Jal Jeevan Mission, water for all by 2024. The target has to be achieved, and what is the journey? How does the journey look like?
Journey ahead looks very nice. We will be soon having implementing support agencies with us. We have also UNICEF with us, working with us. We have the villages who are very eager to have the taps in their home, with a very excellent team which is there to support me, and with the Government of India always there to guide. I feel that for Maharashtra, since we have already had a background of many schemes with us, achieving this target is not difficult, except in some places we will have difficulties, I'm sure, especially tribal areas and those which are distant, like places like Nandurbar or Gadchiroli, or places which are a little far on the hills. So those at tribal areas can be difficult for us, but otherwise I feel achieving this target of 2024 Har Ghar Nal Se Jal, I think is not going to be difficult for Maharashtra, and I feel very hopeful and positive that this will happen definitely.
All right, Mr. Muralidharan, your closing comments in the show. Ms. Vimla is positive and optimistic about the mission. And also we'll say Jal Jeevan Mission Urban will also focus on the water needs specifically in the urban areas. So water for all by 2024.
Yeah, so yes, you have correctly said. Actually, under this vision, I would like to summarize like this. So this program has started off very well. Now it is very important for us to maintain the momentum, and for which the cooperation of the states would be the most important part of it. Apart from that, we are focusing on some of the priority areas so that we give water quickly to aspirational districts, drought-prone areas, areas which have water quality affected, so, villages that are covered under the Sansad Gramin Yojana. So these are the priority areas for us. And apart from that, we are also bringing in a lot of skills. We are also bringing in generating employment. And the most important thing is, as Yajurved says, Amritam va apaha amritasya anantarikte, means the water has to be there forever, and water should never be destroyed. So the mission, the objective of the mission is to ensure water is available to everyone, which is Amritam va apaha, and it is not destroyed. Amritasya anantarikte. Thank you.
All right. From here, Mr. Vasuja, your closing comments on the show when we talk of implementation of the mission ahead, and also what is it when we talk of the road ahead for the mission?
I think UNICEF is the proud partner in implementation of Jal Jeevan Mission, and here the road ahead is particularly the Jan Bhagidari and the Jan Andolan, which is the key for Jal Jeevan Mission. Community participation is the key. We have to maintain that, sustain it, and also kind of take it to next level where people understand their capacity is built, they are empowered to take decisions, they guide this program, and the shift happens from government to community, and community take it forward. And that is the way forward, with women participation, women taking transformative role in implementation of Jal Jeevan Mission. This mission is going to make changes in everybody's life.
All right, this mission is going to make changes in everybody's life. Thank you so much, all three of you, for joining us this afternoon on Self-India Reliant on DD India. So those were our guests who were talking and sharing their insights into the implementation of Jal Jeevan Mission. Where is the mission standing and what is the road ahead? Remember, conserving water and optimal use of water is not just the onus of the government or the state government, but it also lies in the hands of the common people like you and me to ensure that, to ensure that we make optimal use of the water and support the government's aim of water for all by 2024. With that, we'll end this edition of Self-Reliant India here. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.